Everyone thinks Donald Trump wants Greenland for minerals. That's not the real reason. Greenland is geography. It sits between North America and Europe, right on the GIUK Gap, the naval corridor Russia and China must cross to reach the Atlantic. During the Cold War, NATO treated this as a red line. Here's the part most people miss. Ballistic and hypersonic missiles from Russia pass over the Arctic. Greenland is where the US gets its first warning. That's why the US operates Thule Air Base, home to missile warning radar tracking launches and space activity. In nuclear strategy, 30 to 60 seconds of early warning can decide retaliation or restraint. Now add climate change. The Arctic is warming 4 times faster than the rest of the planet. New sea routes can cut Asia-Europe shipping time by up to 40%, bypassing traditional NATO chokepoints. That changes the balance, not just for Russia, but for China. Because the Arctic isn't only a missile corridor, it's becoming a space corridor. Polar orbiting satellites pass over every point on Earth, including missile paths from Russia and China. That's why ground stations in Deadhorse, Svalbard, Yellowknife, Greenland, and Inuvik have become priceless. Beijing has massively expanded polar satellites and is pushing a polar Silk Road as melting ice opens new routes and strategic access. Trump's Golden Dome missile tracking system will depend on Arctic satellites, but the Arctic is fragile. Undersea cables can be sabotaged. Svalbard can't be used for military data under a 1920 treaty. Greenland depends on foreign infrastructure. Permafrost threatens buildings. And the region is already crowded with Russian and Chinese satellite traffic. This isn't happening in isolation. China now conducts joint Arctic patrols with Russia, including near Alaska. Chinese Coast Guard ships, described by NATO as basically warships painted white, operate in the region. NATO's top commander warned if Arctic ice continues to melt, Chinese submarines could move from the Pacific to the Atlantic, bypassing the Panama and Suez canals entirely. The response has begun. The US is expanding icebreakers, Arctic bases, and sub-hunting patrols. Trump has pressured Denmark over Greenland and struck a shipbuilding deal with Finland. Because the Arctic is no longer a frozen frontier. It's becoming the shortest military route to American shores. But after Donald Trump captured Nicolas Maduro, the tone changed. Denmark publicly told Trump to stop threatening Greenland. After the US intervention in Venezuela, tensions spread from Latin America to Europe. Trump said openly, "We do need Greenland." Soon after, the wife of a senior Trump ally posted a map of Greenland covered by a US flag, with one word, "Soon." Denmark responded immediately. Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen said the United States has no right to annex Greenland and urged Washington to stop threatening a close ally. Trump doubled down. He said the US needs Greenland for national security, claimed Denmark cannot protect it, and argued Europe needs America to control it. But Greenland is part of the Kingdom of Denmark. It is part of NATO, and it is already covered by alliance security guarantees. The United States already has the right to maintain military bases there. Denmark's message was blunt. Greenland is not for sale. Threats between allies are unacceptable. And after Venezuela, Europe is no longer dismissing Trump's words. They're taking them seriously.